Well, greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved Star Wars Dad, Nooch Too Good, and I am not alone today. Once again, we are joined by our other brilliant content creators in this community, the Rabid Beaver, and yes, Sexy Vexy. I'm gonna say it every time, my friend. Yes, you've taken over from Sexy Rexy, and now you are Sexy Vexy. Anyway, boys, girls, ladies, and gentlemen, we got some stuff to discuss right now. We're kind of in this. I feel like we're in this in-between period in the game where we're kind of waiting for Relic Delta. We don't have a lot of like massive farming things going on right now. I think even we're waiting for Forlom and Zuckuss. There might be a kit reveal tonight for one or both of them. We'll see what happens there. But I wanted to talk about a couple of questions with you guys here today. And I'm going to start, we'll start right off. We'll get to Relic Delta in a little bit because I think that's important. But I want to talk about, first of all, my camera was my, yeah, there we go. It cut me off at the top there, and that's no good. Fleets. Now, we in the last 3 weeks we had the Rogue One come out, which kind of basically mostly sort of neutralized the Executor counter to Profundity, mostly kind of, and then we had the B-Wing come out, which now the Home One is doing things it's never done in this game, right? Home One's been literally sitting in the last spot in this game for 7 years, 8 years, like doing nothing. So here's my question. I'm gonna have two questions about this for you guys. The first question, and we'll start with Beaver. The first question is, what are the first 2 or 3 fleets that players should now farm in this game, with all these fleets being able to crisscross and counter each other? Endurance can counter Executor, Home One counters Profundity and Executor, etc., etc. What are those first 2 or 3 fleets now? And I'm definitely not having an eye toward cheating on my 2026 farming guide on this. I'm not cheating at all. But what do you think? Beaver, get us going.
I know that, Sunjita's pushed a lot recently with the whole, Negotiator Endurance is the greatest fleet known to mankind, and it is the apex predator and has been for a while. But with this change, I think that the Home One is becoming more and more of ooh, that actually looks pretty nice. Because you can just end up going for Home One and pushing into the Jabba, into the Leia, and still break into the Rebel Trinity and that type of thing without going off on another side tangent. Because I feel like that's my biggest problem with the Endurance Negotiator start, is that you're just going off on a side tangent, and you look at the stuff that leads to, and it's like Gas, which is not a good early game farm, JMK, Lord Vader, still these are not good early game farms. Whereas Leia, Jabba, and JML, they're very much an easier early game farm. So I think the going for Home One and maybe Malevolence to start off, just because Malevolence is an easy one to get up, and rocking to get you 2 just solid fleets to get started. Do I think the Malevolence needs a little hand up at this point, considering how much they're beefing up other fleets? A little bit. Tri-Fighter should come soon. But right now, I think those 2 fleets make the most sense as you make your way towards Jabba, and then after that going, honestly, at this point, I'm kind of curious what your guys' thoughts are for going for Executor or Profundity first. I still think Executor makes sense to me, just because to get Executor, or to get Profundity, you need to get the Bounty Hunter ships to get Han Solo and, his Millennium Falcon. So, makes for a little bit of it doesn't really matter. You still have to kind of go for Executor anyways.
Right.
So,
Vexitron, what do you think?
So it's a good question. I think it's still too early to tell, because I have a free-to-play account that I've been working on for less than a year now, and I did the Endurance Rush, and I'm able to compete with all of the Krakens and Whales that went hard on Executor, 7-star maxed out in 4 or 5 months. I was able to do that very well with Marauder and very low gear Bad Batch. So I think the question is how easily accessible is this ship going to be when it comes out? And is it dependent on Raven's Claw to be successful? Because that's an annoying farm for newer players that you're just starting this game. And if Raven's Claw is an essential ship to make that fleet operate at max capacity, or to be able to pull off these counters, that's a bit of an annoying farm on a fleet node, and it kind of don't think it's required. Is it required for anything? I don't think it is.
Well,
No,
Kyle
my
Katarn,
Raven's
but
Claw is 3-star.
It performs at 3-star.
No, I have it at 3-star. It's not required for anything. Like, it's one of my biggest regrets. It's like the only ship I didn't 7-star because it's like, we'll never use this.
Yeah, like I think so. Obviously, the other requirements you were saying lead into other GLs that like early game that are very good. But in terms of like how easily it's going to perform without that ship, that's a big question. And I don't know how if this ship's going to go on a single hard node farm as well. If it's going to take away from the other paths, I think that if it's very like me personally, I really like the endurance negotiator rush because that's what I've been doing right now, and I'm able to counter both executor and profundity on my fleet shard with those two ships. I don't even have it at max, so I feel like endurance / negotiator, like it leads you to like an early game, mid game endurance, and then you get to your later upper fleet negotiator to beat some of those other meta fleets. But I guess it depends on which GL you're going for. But I do think Akbar has a real it's up there for going for a first fleet. And also, yeah, I just think it's a good option.
Another question for me about the home one is going to be, I am having zero success with it. I'll tell you, I'll just be straight up with that. And I actually yelled at the guy in chat. I'm like, why you made me do this? But like, I'm just having no success with it. And I think it's because I haven't invested. Like, I don't have Akbar. He's at Relic 3. And I got these guys at their minimum Relic levels to do things in the game. And I don't have a lot of upgrades in the ships. And I don't really want to invest a bunch of prestige into the home one right now when there's a lot of things in flux too. So, what's the investment in that? And I think it's going to be a discussion. I think you're right, Vexitron. It's a little too early to ask, but it's definitely a conversation we need to start having. Because if you're looking at, Sanjita and I got together and talked about, we debated kind of the Jabba versus Leia first GL thing. And, for the endurance, you can go into Leia pretty easily, but Jabba's a little bit more, involved with the Jedi Knight Luke and everything. And the bounty hunters, right? You got some bounty hunter overlap there between Jabba, not a lot, but they kind of go together with the executors. So, well, here's my second question then, and it's same realm here with the fleets. So, and not to give away your Grand Arena defense or anything, but what are we going with right now on defense versus offense? What belongs on defense and what belongs on offense? Since everything counters everything, how are we putting that together these days? And we'll start this with a Vexy.
In my opinion, I hate when Grand Arena comes down the ships, and with how easy it is to beat all the meta fleets right now, I think it's all triple meta fleet on offense, and then you put like Malevolence, Home One, and like Finalizer or something, the strips and banners on defense. So I think the current fleet meta right now is you bring all 3 GL meta ships on offense, go for the efficiency, because it's going to get beat no matter what. You put Executor on defense, it's a 76 banner win if you have Profundity in Rogue One. No matter what the star count is, it's nullified off of defense. So if you want to play trick, like you want to set triple meta fleet on defense, all 3 meta fleets could be like easily taken out by a mirror match, or depending on how you want to do it. I just think personally, I rather not it come down to fleet in Grand Arena, and I think the meta right now is all 3 on offense, personally.
Mr. Beaver?
Yeah, currently what I'm rocking is I'm rocking a Profundity on offense and using it as my trump card. I'm really loving using that fleet, and then throwing Leviathan on Executor on defense. So if they go, heavy on their defense, I don't have any problem getting through, but I'm gonna lose out on a little bit of banners because I'm using off meta counters for a couple of the fleets. But if they go, heavy on defense, that means they're going to be screwed by, my defense being those things as well. And so I don't know, it's just I like to balance the two, and so I'm definitely pushing for Profundity on offense with all of my off meta, and then on defense I'm throwing Leviathan, Executor, and whatever third fleet that I want to. Right now I'm using Finalizer just because I want to know how the meta shakes out and how people are going to start setting things down, and so I don't want to quite fill up that slot till I know what I'm going to be seeing commonly.
I think I'd
I've
put
gotten
Radis
2
out there.
holds.
What?
2 hold and finalizer this season in Carver 1. I have no idea how.
What?
I promise.
That's
2 holds
wild.
the first week. I put Houndstooth as a reinforcement. I don't know if that's it.
I wonder about so I have been thinking that so I've been using Executor with the Mark 6 as a counter for Leviathan, and I don't use the Houndstooth in that setup. So I'm wondering if I could put it. Maybe that's a possible solution. Throw it as a finalizer reinforcement.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know if someone's underestimating my finalizer, but they see Houndstooth come out, they're like WTF, and maybe that causes some I don't know.
We're back to the good old days of where did he hide the Houndstooth?
I was shot. A Kyber 1 match, top 100, got a hold. Triple. I set crap on defense, and I was like, wait, what? I won because of this? I don't know.
I'm really loving the Negotiator, having the Negotiator and the Radis on offense, because people keep throwing Malevolence on defense and keep throwing Radis on defense, and with the Negotiator you can get like a 75-76 banner win every time with Negotiator, and then with the Malevolence it's just like, oh, you just throw in the Radis and then you giggle as everyone dies in one hit, and so I've been really enjoying having those two on offense. And so honestly, the one that I'm seeing less and less use for myself is Malevolence, so I might just throw my Malevolence on defense for that finalizer slot.
Gotcha. All right, I think that's going to be a conversation that'll continue over the next several months, because holy cow, I mean, it feels like every fleet's been lifted except for Malevolence, like you said, and I for sure, if the next ship that comes out is not a Separatist ship, I'm going to be blown away. I'll be shocked at that. Like I would, yeah. So you think it's just got to go with Malevolence and lift it and whatever it's going to be. So let's turn our attention to Relic Delta a little bit. And I mean, I will say that I am in the testing. I'll just be honest. I haven't had a lot. I've done some testing. It seems a little more in line right now with whatever it's going to be. I feel like the community has calmed down a little bit, unless we're getting them riled up. But I kind of wanted to hear where you guys are sitting with Relic Delta right now. And how about the marketing here? I mean, any thoughts on how the marketing has been? Like, this is the first time that, and I know that this is something that, Meathead really kind of put it together and brought all the content creators in. Launching this with content creators as the should we take a pause here and wait for Mr. Beaver? We'll give him a second. We're good? Okay. All right, good enough. I mean, but launching it with content creators as the testers and talking about it, where initially it was a big shock. I don't know. What are your overall takes on it? I'm sure you guys talked about it on your channel, but where are we sitting on it right now today as we look at Relic Delta, probably coming later November or December? I feel like December is really likely. I don't know. It's going to come later on. Where are you guys sitting with that? What about you, Mr. Beaver?
I've resigned myself to the fact that it's going to happen.
Yes.
Like, that's just, it's true. It's not going to be, we're not going to get to roll back. It's just a matter of how bad it's going to be. I do appreciate the lower numbers in between the lower relic levels that they've shown with the most recent set of numbers. I'm genuinely worried. I brought this up to some of you guys that do the testing and asked about it. I'm genuinely worried about 3v3, because already 3v3 is one of those game modes where, my 90% counter in 5v5 becomes a 70% counter in 3v3. And so and GLs get so hard to fight in 3v3. You go up against a solo Ray and you basically have to take in something just as good as if it was a full team Ray. It's just a pain in the butt. And so those small amounts of difference in the relic levels, I think, will even be still drastic because it's 3v3 and you just don't have the turn meter trains, or you don't have the damage. I think that's the worrying thing here for me, is 3v3 with the current set of numbers. Like, previously it was everything, but with this most recent set of numbers, it's like 3v3 is the thing that I'm still worried about. I still don't like the big numbers on either end. And I feel like, I don't know, I no offense to those of you who are doing testing, no offense to you, Nooch. I think they're kind of using you guys as scapegoats and just being like, yeah, we're just gonna say that we're talking to them, and then they've had pre-planned numbers that they're dropping each week, and that's it. And so, like, I don't know. That's my opinion for how this looks from what they've been doing. But I'm hoping they're listening to you guys. I hope.
Vexitron, what do you think?
So I'm kind of in the acceptance stage now, where in the beginning I was like, okay, this is kind of like, this is dangerous. Like the first numbers they released were like, I don't even think I can compete anymore because I face full Relic 9 rosters and I have a lot of Relic 7s, Relic 8s. And the disparity with even 2 Relic levels was crazy. It was 45% on week 1. And now it's down, if you're Relic 7 to Relic 9, it's 10%. So I think it'll obviously give the Krakens an advantage, the whales, everyone that has more full Relic 9 rosters. So I think I will be able to get by. All the endgame players will figure it out. We'll have a majority of our rosters at Relic 7 anyway. What I'm worried about is early and mid game, and still the early matchmaking, because I'm able to punch up a lot. And maybe this is what they're talking about. Like on my free-to-play account, I just unlocked Lord Vader in less than a year. When I finally got on the Relic levels, I am just, and the whole clone team is at Relic like gear 8. Like not even close. I'm able to, in Squad Arena, put on a Focus Datacron with Lord Vader at Relic 6, and I'm beating full Relic 8 Supreme Leader Kylo Ren's with those low-end teams. That's gone. I don't even think I can compete in Grand Arena anymore. I could beat a Relic 5 Jedi Knight Revan team with a Gear 12 Darth Revan and a Gear 11 Bastila Shan Fallen. The days of that is over.
Yeah.
There's no punching up. So the end game, we're going to be fine. We'll get through it. It's going to suck a little bit. I think cleanups on GLs are going to be a little bit rough if your go-to counter doesn't work, like you bring in Kylo against Leia or Jabba against a team and it fails and you have a solo GL left and it's a Relic 9 GL and a Relic 10 GL and your best cleanup is Relic 5. You now have a huge disparity in the numbers for that cleanup. So the days of if your go-to counter doesn't work, you're even more boned, in my opinion. Like the cleanups are going to be terrible. But specifically, early and mid game are going to be the biggest problemo. You have to fix early game matchmaking. I could punch up and beat 9 million Galactic Power rosters. I'm probably not supposed to, but I have skill and knowledge, and that is the greatest power in this game.
Right.
That is gone for early and mid game.
Yeah, the same thing's running me right now I'm sitting in Carbonite 2 with my roster. It's about 7-8 months old. And, I can take my Imperial Troopers out there at Gear 11, and I can kill a lot of stuff with that, I mean, a lot of Relic teams go down if I go first. As soon as Piet goes first, I can kill a lot of stuff. Or even like my Phoenix team at Gear low, a lot of those early teams can really perform. And you're right. If that's gone, like if I have to take like Captain Rex to Relic 7 to make anything happen, and if I have to take Piet, well Piet gets Relic'd up anyway, soon. But what I'm saying, like maybe it's if I pick one character, I'm not sure, but I think that's a really good feedback because I'm sure you're exactly like me, and Beaver's run a bunch of accounts too. When I look my roster in Carbonite 2, I'm always the smallest roster in the bracket every single time, and without not even like occasionally I get somebody that's within like 500 grand of me, so it's always punching up, and I know that the people that are watching me are doing the same stuff and punching up because they're watching you guys and they're seeing the stuff that's out there. And if those teams and those counters go away, you're looking again at throw a team out there, get 10 points, and see what happens. And Rabid Beaver, yes, see your hand. Bathroom time's in about 5 minutes. Can you hold it?
Okay, yeah, I can hold.
Okay, what's up?
So speaking about this and you guys talking about this has kind of made me think, because I had this already kind of in my head last week when I was recording a video with someone of like maybe the meta defense nowadays is going to be like getting a Savage to Relic 9. It used to be like getting your first GL, you throw it on defense. It might be you just get a Relic 9 Savage early on, throw it on a wall, and then no one can fight you in Carbonite, and you just go through 2 walls. And it might be that we end up getting like a fling meta where we are just flinging one character. So you talked about Imperial Troopers not being able to punch up. Well, all of them right there are meant to do the turn meter, but then Dark Trooper is the damage. So if you have like a Relic 8 Dark Trooper and then the rest of them just garbage, you should be able to do the same thing. Jedi Knight or Jedi Master Luke team, if you have a Jedi Master Luke team, the damage is reduced depending on who you call. If you get a Relic 9 Jedi Knight Luke, you can just call him to assist every time and he's going to deal good damage. And so we might be seeing like we start focusing for earlier players on singular characters that we're getting up and running to like fling in different teams.
But I think that makes perfect sense. As there's going to be strategy with like, okay, let me utilize the higher relic character on my roster on my team to punch up. But like as a free to play player, I don't really want to punch up relic levels of the characters that I don't need to. I want to get all the journey guide requirements at their bare minimum and then go to the next journey guide. Now it's like, oh, I just got a journey guide character and all the requirements are relic 5, but they're going to be useless because of this damage disparity. So my brand new Hug Cartel Jabba team is not going to be able to beat a Relic 7 or Relic 8 JMK team because the minimum requirements are at Relic 5. It's like you now have to, it's no longer, okay, I met the requirements to this journey guide, I can move on. It's like, no, I got to now take them all to Relic 7 at a minimum and then I can move on. So it kind of like, that's me, the way I always played for the longest time was bare minimum as possible where they're useful and then go to the next project. Don't ever waste your resources when they don't need to be there. Like, I didn't want to take my new Bad Batch to Relic 7 or Relic 8. They're doing fine at Relic 5. I got to bring them all up to Relic 7 now at the bare minimum. That's the new staple of this game. Especially Kyber 1 at the minimum, Relic 7.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think these are all really good points. And like Savage, he's got one application, Grand Arena, right? He doesn't fit in any farms. I mean, he's awesome in Grand Arena, and he makes a Traya team really fly. But like, viewers got to look.
I will say on my free-to-play account, I got my Relic 5 Savage on the first day that I got to level 85, carried me through all of Easy Conquest and through most of Normal. And with the changes to Conquest being Relic 2 for the first sector and Relic 5 future sectors, and the Relic disparity, like if you have a Relic Savage, you might actually be able to like solo your Conquest with it if you have a good Relic Savage.
Interesting.
So, I don't know. But he's not good in any other spot, but it was just a good example of like, I mean, you could make the same argument with Wampa now. Wampa's easier to get. You can get a high relic Wampa, but even then,
well, and we're gonna have to see how the economy works out, right? Like they've said they're gonna make relic levels more available. It sounds like maybe the lower relic levels are more available, and then they throw Relic 8 and 9 in the scavenger. It's like, well, that's nice, but that doesn't really make it that much more available. It just makes it more stuff I got to spend to get to Relic 9. We'll see how that really pans out. I do think I would agree. I think that early gaming, in the early game, it's going to be a lot about picking a few characters as you go. Like, here's this team, I've got Traya at Gear 12 and I got Nihilus at Gear 12. And if I Relic 7 or 8 Savage, then I've got something here, right? Or picking those spots to be, and that'll have to play out probably over the next year. We'll be figuring that out as we go and really playing with it. I do want to say something about the marketing of it, and you mentioned that we're being used as pawns in Kepler Games' game to launch I get it, where maybe they had their, and for sure, I'm 100% in on the first numbers they put out were just to get everybody wound up. That was the entire purpose. Let's troll the community, let's get it out there and make them freak out so that they'll come back and be more, that's 100% true. It's the art of the deal, some might say. China. So, what was I saying? I'm going to say this. I think that it is a symbiosis. I think it's a symbiosis. I think that you bring the content creators in, and I don't think I'm the one with the most. I don't have a lot of. I don't know what's the right word. Pull or. I'm testing something, I'm not analytical, right? I'm not analytical. Where a guy like Playbook who's in there is analytical, he's going to look at, you know, this relic level, this mod, this ability. He's really on it. And there are other guys, you know, there are other guys that are doing that too. And I think that bringing content creators in on to do some of the testing and also do some of the talking about it, I think it goes together. Because honestly, has anybody not really gotten some really good content out of this announcement? I mean, we've all been talking about it, right? At least at some level. So we're benefiting from this, even though we can be fully aware that yes, we're being pawned out, and we're part of the process here. We're part of the marketing launch for this so that the community accepts a little more, while also, you know, I get some extra views on some videos along the way too. And anyway, that's my thought process around it. I don't know. Am I just coping there, or what am I doing?
I mean, it could be either way.
I lost your volume completely. Oh, there, you're back.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be either way. Like, I could see them actually taking your guys' opinions, and I think that'd be great. I don't know, like the numbers, the one that made it so I was like, I like the first week I was like, oh, this is them being like, hey, let's give something inflammatory, and then they'll start listening to the content creators and we'll see where it goes. But the second week, the second set of numbers was where I was like, I don't know if they're actually listening and if they just have a pre-planned thing, because the jump in numbers was like minuscule from the first week to the second week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this feels like you're giving the content creators something to test. They're not going to get any useful data out of this, because it's going to be the same thing that they had last week. I would have made a drastic change and been like, okay, now we're testing a drastic change and then seeing how that feels, and then they can, you know, move back and forth from there. I don't know, if you're searching for a guy in a building that has 50 floors, you don't go up and go at the top level and just keep working your way down. You keep taking pot shots, and so you can figure out where they are. It's a really dumb logic puzzle. Don't
what?
worry about it. But it's essentially you need to start taking shots in the dark, because if you just go floor to floor, you are just hoping that you'll get close soon. And so if you're just starting at the top and you're just working your way down, if you're starting at 100% damage reduction and working your way down, and it's just like, okay, well, 95% didn't work, let's go to 80%. Let's go to 75, let's go to 70. You're literally going to spread this testing over forever, instead of if you just shot it in the dark and you say, oh yeah, this didn't work, let's drop it to 20%. Oh, this doesn't have a noticeable use, okay, let's push it up. And you just keep going like that until you find that spot. Is going to work much better than like, oh yeah, we're just going to go incremental until we finally find that spot.
Now, I've never heard the building analogy, but now I feel like I'm like, okay, you're at a train track and you've got the lever to pull. Beaver's tied to this one and Vexitron's tied to this one. Which one do you pull? I don't know.
Trolley problem. You always kill me for the greater good. That's just how it works.
Looking out for the world. I don't know, yep. Vexitron, what do you think of the whole marketing push for this and how the content creators are involved with it?
I think they know what they're doing. I think that they knew when they released those first numbers there was going to be press, and even bad press is press. So, in my opinion, like, I'm not part of the testing. I'm a new content creator. I didn't expect to be. But I rather not get the viewership now and get the viewership later from them making a good, sustainable game. At least I rather not get a hill climb from the current news and then release an update that's going to bring new players and retain those players so our views go up throughout the next couple of years if the game is still around. Like, I want them to make sure that this lands properly, where newer players are not beginning with a disadvantage. They feel like they have some chance of competing, whether it's fixing early game matchmaking, and then you can reach your end goal and still compete. They need to be very careful with how they release it. That's all.
I agree with that, but DM me afterward and we'll talk about farming content.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I agree a lot with that problem of, like, I'd rather them have something good, and like what they're focusing on feels like the end game, and like they're getting 2 million new players. This is it's 2 to 3 million average each month with a spike of like 6 to 7 million new downloads during May the 4th. And if you can retain those players, you're going to get a ton of, stuff in there. And that's going to be a huge amount of revenue. But instead, this feels like it's alienating even more of those early game players.
Yeah.
So.
Like, I have a friend that used to play with me a while ago, and he's trying to get back into it. And he just feels like it's too far for him to catch up to get the characters that he wants. Like, he thinks that being able to unlock Malgus in like a year after unlocking Proving Grounds is crazy. Like any other game that he plays, it's like these characters are way faster, achievable than this game. He said out of all the games he's played, this one seems to be the most greedy or just tedious in terms of like specific character unlocks. So
I haven't really talked about that, but I think you're 100% right. I mean, the Malgus farm is not Malgus, but all the Proving Grounds. Like, it's a good... I like the setup of it. Like, these are characters that were released a while ago in Conquest. Now you can get them in Proving Grounds. But it's a year and a half. I mean, if it's free to play, it's a year and a half. Because you're looking at 20 shards a month. That's basically 17 months, right? That's crazy, Because you're looking at... It takes you a year and a half to get to 4 million free to play. And then so you're looking at 3 years before you even have access to these characters. And honestly, what I'm dealing with right now is I'm kind of floating between Kyber 2 and Kyber 1 at the moment. And my biggest problem is I'm getting outmodded by truckloads. Like double or more my mod scores. I think the best I've gotten was within like 30% of my mod score, but that's a huge difference. That's like 5 extra teams that you've got, or some, I'm just ballparking there. Those mods are still going to differentiate newer accounts from older accounts unless somebody really wants to fork over the cash for the mods, and then that's good for Capital Games too. So congratulations to them. So, yeah.
I have one question.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys think the Relic update was now useless with the star count with Relic Delta, or do you think it still serves a purpose?
Beaver, go. I have thoughts on this.
I think this was essentially not actually what it looked like a change that they wanted to do for us, but really this is essentially them setting up for this new update because they're mentioning that, they're going to remove low relic levels and gear from new characters. And so it's essentially setting in the place that, oh yeah, when you unlock a character at 3 stars, that's a new character. It's going to be gear 10. You you get the 4th star, it'll bring them up to gear 12. You get the 5th star, it's up to relic 1. 6-star Relic 3 and then 7-star Relic 5. I was kind of like setting up that system in preparation for what they were planning for the end of this year. So I don't think it was necessarily something that was there to help us. It was just setting up what they're going to do next for new characters, I think.
100%. That's because, when I did make a video about that. I kind of put 2 and 2 or 4 and 4 together. And like what Meathead said, this is setting up our next update. And people were like, well, that's Relic Delta. And I'm like, I don't think it's Relic Delta. I think it's the economy part of it that's being set up. And yeah, so if you pay the money to get the character to Relic 7 off the bat, maybe they're, 7 stars, maybe they're Relic 3 or Relic 4 right off the bat. This automatically, boom, you get them at. And he literally said in that post, the Relic Delta post, that you will no longer be spending gear on new characters. Like that was a literal line in there so that you can spend the gear on the old characters. So I think that's on the nose that they made the relic levels available for lower star characters. So because of that unlock system, whatever that new progression system looks like. So I think it's more of an economy thing than a gameplay thing. Even though I'm having success with my clones who I think I just got I think I still have Scorch at 6-star or CX. I don't know, one of the other. I'm still working through it, but they're still performing at the same level, close to it, as it would be at 7 stars. So,
yeah, I think one of the. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Nope, you go.
Going back to what you're saying, Vex. I think one of the biggest problems we're running into is with your friend being like, oh yeah, this doesn't feel good. We aren't getting like economy changes at all to keep going with things, and we've been frozen at Relic 9 forever. They identified this whole idea of Relic 10, yeah, 4 years, is that right? We've been still, you know, they're like Relic 10 is not going to feel good because, you know, it's going to be rough for people. I'm like, yeah, but like when you went into Relic 9, you started building out ways for people to get Relic 8 and get things easier, and you know, you changed the gear to double drop as time went on, and like you did all this stuff to kind of lean into the economy. We're not really seeing huge economy shifts at all to kind of keep up with those things. Instead, they're just like, we're adding Relic 10, and because we haven't, you know, done any of this prep work for Relic 10, we're just gonna, you know, say that there's a problem here. And it's like, you guys made the problem.
Uh-oh, we lost Vex. There he is.
Oh,
Am I here?
back?
I don't know
You're
what
back
happened.
Were you going to comment on that?
No, I get it. I get it. It's just they have to do something to make it a little bit like. Is the answer to my friend's problem lightspeed bundles? Is that the only like solution? Like now that you have a way of catch up, you gotta drop $20 on a lightspeed bundle, and there you go. Should there be a different way? These lightspeed tokens on the free to play pass like gets you a 4-star gear 12. I mean, being able to take a character to Relic at 5-star and Relic 1 will do absolutely nothing for you against a Relic 7 team. You're basically fighting a gear 11. It does nothing.
And my beef with the 4-star is like, if you give me 12 7-star characters a year, is it really going to be that big of a crimp on the game? I mean, I've got 300 characters to farm. Can't we just give it to me at 7 stars, please? I don't understand that one at all.
Yeah, when they first announced for lightspeed tokens, I thought that was like their way of fixing it. And I was so excited because I was like, oh, if they give one 7-star Relic 5 per month to free-to-play players if they finish the Era Pass, that is like, you know, and it's going to be a different faction each time, so they can't just like farm a legendary out of it. But like it can be a significant boost to a player's roster. Getting, you know, 12 new characters a month or 12 new characters a year is a huge boost for new players coming in to get started. But nope, it's just, you know, you have to pay to even get a Relic level 1, and even then it's not a Relic 5 one. And I was like, oh, this went from being like oh, this could be a solvent for so much for new players to this is
Well, and I think the other thing with new players is, you know, they get scared off by early Grand Arena, you know. And I've definitely talked to people who said, yeah, I got my friend playing and he got into Grand Arena. He's like, what is this? You know, like the accounts are so visible. It's like I'm staring at this guy and he's got whatever. He's got Jabba in Arena and I've got 3 Relic characters, or not even that sometimes. Like, what am I doing? What is happening here? It's so stupid. And I don't know any other way to put it. It's just stupid. But that's been voiced, so hopefully they fix that. And I think the other point is that I think is coming out of this is like, the game's at a point now, 10 years in, right? Next month is 10 years. It just takes too long to get this stuff done. There's so much stuff in the game. Why can't we give us those early teams? You know, Phoenix, Imperial Troopers, I don't know, Qui-Gon Jinn, Omicron, Wampa. Give us those characters to Relics faster. Like, accelerate the Relic process for those guys so that we can get that stuff done. And then, you know, there's got to be something to get newer players playing faster. And if you're getting that many down, how do they convert more of those players to permanent players who play for 1, 2, 3, 4 years instead of playing for 3 months and then saying, I'm going to go try Clash of Clans or something, you know, whatever. I think part of that also has to do with can Star Wars make good content? I think that's really important to the future of the game, and we'll see how Mando and Grogu did next year. So, all right, guys, we've gone on for a while. This is a really good conversation. I think we will continue to have this conversation throughout the rest of this year, at least. So, any final parting words for us, Rabid Beaver, about the channel, about what you're doing, about anything? Oh wait, look at camera here, camera here, camera here. Tell us what you're doing.
I mean, come check out my live streams and have a good time. We listen to dope music, and we are live every time there's a GAC open, you know?
Dope music, no cap.
Yeah, that's what I got for you. I don't know. I mean, yeah, and hey, you're making decisions with your wallet right now. I've already stopped spending because of, you know, Mace being so crap. Stop spending because of Relic Delta.
God, Mace is crap. Yeah, man. Vexitron.
If you guys are looking for some high-end Kyber 1 gameplay for Grand Arena, strategy, fun time, good vibes, come check me out. I live stream Grand Arena, do some roster reviews, and I'd say stay strong during this update. I think we're going to be fine. Don't make any drastic decisions in terms of quitting or, doing crazy roster, punching up or anything like that. I'd say hold off, wait till this comes out, and we'll be fine, but we'll get through it.
Sounds good. Hey, everybody, thanks for joining us today. This is a good conversation. This is going to keep going, but Rabid Beaver, Vexitron, thanks for jumping on. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Have a good day. Talk to you soon. And always remember, Nooch too good.